Hey everyone, hi, Ronak here. I am a part of the founding team of Decentro and I lead business development at Decentro. And today we've got with us Parth Shah, who is the co-founder of ZeroBalance. So first of all, Parth, thank you so much for taking out the time to join us and talk to us today. Welcome to Decentro Talkies, and would be great to have you introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hey Ronak, thanks for having me. So for a quick introduction, I am a computer engineer, who passed out in the middle of the pandemic, right? And since then, I think since before that, I have been lured into startups. I have been a huge fan of this show called Shark Tank, and I think that's, set the entrepreneurial bug in me. And since then, it was always been I need to solve a problem and the business would follow. And I think that's where also ZeroBalance had its own inception. We are trying to solve a problem that we are facing, I think, within the family. And yeah, I think that would be a quick brief background on me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for walking us through, the background story of, why of what you're doing at Zero Balance.
Like,
So, I think it's great that we're talking to you today because you were the first ever winner of Decentro's Fintech Fellowship. And for those people that don't know about the Fintech Fellowship, this was this program that we did earlier in 2021, around March 2021, where we wanted to work with a young dynamic team who was trying to tackle and solve a major pain point or a major problem in fintech. And the idea was that we would have a 3-month long program where we at Decentro work together with the team to build out the solution and basically help them in building out the solution. And like I said earlier, Parth and his team were one of the team that was chosen out of thousands of applicants. And we found the problem that they're trying to solve to be really fascinating. And we wanted to work with them. And that's how they ended up becoming the winner of the FinTech Fellowship. So, Parth, could you walk our users through your journey of probably applying for the FinTech Fellowship? How the experience was once you won it and once you got into the program and how things went ahead from there.
yeah, absolutely. I think I had known Prateek earlier, who's the co-founder of Decentro, right? And back then we were I'd been following Decentro since the beginning, the products they were coming out with and all the development that was going on in the banking space and how Decentro was in a way democratizing it, right? It was making it much more accessible to everyone out there. And yeah, I think that's where I was constantly following Decentro. And when the fellowship had come out, I knew I had to apply with this idea, right? Because the idea that I had and the way we were working towards it, it was much, I think it was all theoretical, right? It was nothing implemented. It was not a practical experience that we had gained. So I knew this was like the right opportunity. I didn't expect us to win, honestly, but I knew I had to apply. And that's where it was quite unexpected, but we were so lucky to have won the fellowship. I think post fellowship, or let me take it during fellowship. I think we realized a lot about the banking space, right? It's not as easy as it looks, right? But it's a great job that Decentro is doing to make it as easy as possible for all the companies out there to integrate with these banks, right? I know it's a difficult task. There's a lot of things to take care, not just from the product perspective, but I think there's a lot of compliance and regulatory perspective to be taken care as well. And as we were just trying to build out an MVP, right? I think all that hassle was not there for us, right? For us, we were just interacting with Decentro. We had the complete knowledge on, how we are going to utilize the technology underlying it and go live with the MVP. So I think this fellowship was really a blessing for us to get off the ground. And I think we're just going to go forward from here.
Awesome. I think, like you rightly said, right, it's very difficult to navigate the whole banking and financial services world when you're a newcomer to it. And there are a lot of surprises waiting for you at every corner. And the whole idea was to, make it simple for somebody who's going that journey for the first time, to make it simple for them to navigate it and to launch their product. And that's how the whole, I think, conception of the FinTech Fellowship came about. So, we've spoken about the fellowship. It would be great to hear your thoughts on how did you come up with the idea for ZeroBalance, or probably you could explain to our viewers what is ZeroBalance, what is the backstory, right? The how and the why of what you're doing at ZeroBalance and how you came up with the idea. Just let us know what led you to where you are today.
Absolutely. No. So thing is, I have a younger brother who's 11 years younger to me, right? So he's like the kid of the family right now, and he's super into gaming and stuff, right? And especially with Fortnite, he just wants to buy a lot of things within the game, and I have no idea why he wants to do that, but he just wants to do it, right? And he needs to spend my dad's money, and my dad, being an Indian dad, like all of our dads, he's like, I am not giving my card anywhere, right? The money's going to get stolen. So he's very skeptical about doing all of this stuff. So there's a constant rift, right? So I think that's where the initial idea came through, where we thought there has to be a better way where you can transfer funds, have more control over it, and stay secure at the same time, right? So all of those inhibitions that stop you from giving your cards in multiple places needs a better way of handling it. So I think that's where we thought of coming out with virtual cards and deciding how this can help consumers today, not just like kids, but like millennials out there who want to have proper controls on their funds. And while we were doing our own research on how we can achieve this, we came across privacy.com, right, which is a US based company. They operate only in the US, and they had a very good concept of issuing burner cards every time you want to make a singular payment, right? And this helps you stay in control of your funds. This helps you stay secure and private, right? And that is exactly something we wanted to build for India. But now I think in India, there are a lot of challenges, when it comes from regulatory perspective, like banks do not allow you to issue multiple cards to a single consumers. And there are other challenges as well, right? And all of those challenges we got to know when we started interacting with Decentro. We got to know what is possible, what is not, why is it in a certain manner. So I think that's where we actually started the entire product ideation. We discussed, I think I discussed with you extensively. There was Prateek and Rohit as well. So we understood what challenges lie in the ecosystem today, how we can pivot our own idea within that to achieve what we set out to. And I think that's what is the way forward for us. So I think going forward, we see ZeroBalance becoming a complete expense management solutions for consumers today. So if you look the consumers' spending habits in the digital medium today, everybody's spending through UPI, right? Everybody's spending through cards, but there is no way for you to reconcile payments end of the day. I'm probably using 3 or 4 payment apps across all the online services or even offline services for that matter. But end of the day, I have no idea where my money is going, right? There is no way to analyze my funds. There's no way to control my funds as well. So as a college student, I remember I used to live off Zomato and Swiggy, but I had no idea how much I was spending in a month, right? So I think what we want to do is going forward, we want to create something called wallets or sub wallets, right? Where each wallet is assigned to a particular app, group of apps, or a particular service, right? So let's say if I consider group of apps to be Zomato and Swiggy, right? So I'm just going to allocate, let's say 5,000 rupees for this month. Now, both Zomato and Swiggy would have access to only the funds that is allocated in that wallet, right? If I'm ever exceeding the amount, it's the payments is going to get declined, right? So I am never going to cross my budget. So I think today, even when there are solutions to analyze your spendings, everything is post spending, right? The apps are going to read your transactional SMSs, they're going to read your bank statement and give you an analytical report. But all of this happens post spending. There is no way for consumers to control the funds pre-spending. And that's where we see ZeroBalance differentiating from the competition out there, where we allow users to have complete controls on the funds pre-spend and obviously allow a post-spend analysis as well. So I think, yeah, that's where ZeroBalance is headed to, help consumers have control over their funds, because all of us know saving is hard, right? And saving without knowing where you're spending money is even harder. So that's where we are headed today.
Super interesting. So I think you did touch upon it a little earlier, but if you could delve into what were some of the challenges or the roadblocks that you faced during your development journey, to basically highlight to our viewers exactly what the challenges are that lie in fintech or in banking. I think that would be great. So could you explain that to us, Parth?
Right. Okay. So I think I'll break down the challenges into 3 parts. I think the first part is from the perspective of the technology that is required to integrate these services. The second part would be the cost and infrastructure that is, required. And the third would be the support, right? So I think coming to the first part, right? So we've looked at multiple banks, developer platforms as well, right? And even the best of the banks don't have a very good developer experience. Their APIs are not very well structured. There's a lot of encryption mechanisms that we need to take care at our end, which makes things difficult to integrate and go live. So I think with Decentro, all of that was not there. Simple RESTful APIs, easier to integrate, right? There are flows and steps that we need to follow, and we are sorted, right? So I think that was a very easy part, right? The testing was quick, the development was quicker. When it comes to cost, I think with banks, right, it's a very high amount of investment that you need to do. And as someone who's just building out an MVP to test out the markets, whether there's an actual requirement for this or not, it becomes very expensive to carry out or, build your idea to life. So I think that's again where Decentro helped a lot. And I think third, it goes without saying that the support that we got from the team in terms of building up product, not just from tech perspective, but even from the consumer perspective as well. I think that is something you do not get from a banking partner at all.
Yeah, I think, and that's where we really need to come in and we need to use our expertise, right? At the end of the day, we are not just opening up a menu of APIs that are at your disposal. Right. I think it's more about stitching together different APIs that do different functionalities in order to establish a seamless workflow for you. Right?
Absolutely. And I think it's somebody like you or anyone, Rohit or Pratik at Decentro, who's actually understanding the problem we are trying to solve and helping us navigate into that world using the banking APIs, right? So I think that is what sets Decentro apart, I think, from any other banking integrating partner.
Yeah, thank you for, I think, recognizing that. But ultimately, I think the whole ecosystem is going to benefit by people who are able to do this for them. Right. And that's what we're trying to build out over here. So Parth, it would also be great, in terms of giving us a walkthrough of what are the APIs that you've used from Decentro, right? If you could just walk our viewers through exactly how you put together this product to achieve the overall product that you built out at ZeroBalance.
Absolutely. So I think the current modules that we're using from Decentro that's live in our MVP is the prepaid instrument module, right? So we are issuing prepaid cards to our users. So I think there are a bunch of APIs within the module itself, where we do a consumer registration. So it basically creates a virtual account with the partner bank. Then we are doing an OTP verification as well, which sort of acts as a minimum KYC for the user. Right. Post minimum KYC, we are using the issue wallet and the issue cards APIs to, help them generate a virtual card. So I think these are the set of APIs that we're using currently. I think there will be more APIs that we're going to soon use to, build out the app completely.
Awesome. So I think, in terms of picking up different components of APIs and then putting it together, you guys have done a great job. So Parth, could you walk us through what are the outcomes that you've had once you've integrated the APIs, and what is it that you're seeing? What is the traction or what is the feedback that you got from your customers?
Right. So I think one of the best feedbacks that we've gotten so far from our early set of customers is the speed, right? The way how quickly we are generating a virtual card from them. Ideally, everybody expects this to be a very lengthy process because of how the traditional banking system has been. But I think with our app, if you go up and sign up today, right, your virtual card is with you in less than 10 seconds once you've completed the process. And the overall process itself takes less than a minute, right? So I think that speed, I think consumers are very acquainted with that speed today, right? Everybody wants things to be quick, and that's what we see with Decentro APIs as well. So I think that's the number one feedback we got. Coming to the traction, we just launched the MVP 2.5 weeks back. It's been going pretty great. I think we were number one product on Product Hunt for the day, right? And we saw not just Indians, but globally people relating with this problem. And I think that was a great validation for us. And so far, I think we issued more than 300 cards, and I think it's going strong. So we hope to continue on that traction.
That's fantastic, Parth. Congratulations to you and the entire team. Landing the first spot on Product Hunt is something that's really aspirational. And I can tell you, on behalf of everybody who's in the product community, that's not a small achievement. So
thanks.
You and the whole team. And it's fantastic that I think you've got the validation from the global product community that what you guys are doing is something that is needed. And it helps in all sorts of ways. So awesome, right? Congrats on that. But I think we are close to the end. So why don't you walk us through what is the roadmap looking like for you? So what is up ahead for the product. And also probably it would be good for you to share your experience and probably share a couple of tips on what is the best way of approaching a problem like this for somebody else who's aspiring to build a fintech like what you're building.
Right. I think the roadmap ahead is we have listed on a bunch of modules that we want to go live with, right? All these modules again revolve around the analytical part, the savings, and we are also looking to add an investment module as well. So all the money that you're saving, we are finding a good place for you to invest. So that is the road ahead for us. In terms of people who are trying to build in the banking space, I think regulations are the critical part of it, right? I've spent nights reading through RBI circulars, understanding, what is possible, what is not, why are things in a certain manner or not. So I think regulations actually is something that you have to deeply understand today, right? And obviously you can ask for help. That's what I've been doing, reaching out to people, trying to understand how are they building the product, how are they navigating this particular space. So I think once you're completely acquainted with the regulations out there, I think technology today is super quick, super fast to deal with. So I think once you're on the regulation hoop, you can just quickly go and build out your product.
Awesome. Sounds good. So really looking forward to having these multiple components of ZeroBalance coming into there, where you're spending, you're also saving, and I think this is going to evolve into something that is going to become a significant part of people's spending habits or saving habits, and hope to see ZeroBalance on pretty much every adult's phone in India.
So I hope that too.
Yeah, I mean, this is very exciting, and we've seen ZeroBalance right from I think early this year, and what you guys have been building, and the amount of curiosity that you guys have in terms of the kind of questions you come up with. So I think it's been very exciting, equally exciting for us to work on this. It almost feels like we are on this journey with you as well. So, I mean, I'm super happy and super kicked that we're doing this together, and you were the first FinTech Fellowship winner. So kudos to you on making this happen so far, Parth, and wish you the very best of luck for the journey ahead. And I think we should keep doing this again and again, because it'll be great for people to see what are the kind of progress you've made. And absolutely. I'm sure a couple of months down the line, there'll be a lot of other stories that you'll be able to share with us as well. So absolutely. Looking forward to that journey together with you, Parth.
Yeah, absolutely, Ronak. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for making the time for this. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Yeah.